Awesome. Okay, so welcome everyone once again to another insightful, transformative session, HR Gems Learning Session. Every month, we make our time to learn because we are all about transformation. When we talk about HR Gems transformation, that's all what we do, how we continue to learn to transform ourselves so that professionals in the workplace we're able to give positivity, and we're also able to be positive change agents. Today promises to be exciting as we are looking at a topic that is fundamental to transformation, which is the identity shift, redefining success. When we thought through this topic with our guest speaker today, Ada, we know it's fundamental because a lot of times as professionals in the workplace, there's just so many things that is demanded out of us. And sometimes you begin to even question your ability. Today's session focuses on the fundamentals, which is your identity of who you are. For those that joined early, the music I played earlier, I am unstoppable. I played that music intentionally just to get us into the mood to know that indeed we are unstoppable. But that rests on us knowing who we are. We are not our job titles. I say to people, oh, HR officer. You are not HR officer. Oh, HR manager, HR director. That's not who you are. That's just a title. It's peripheral. Who you are is embedded in your being. And today we have no other person than my amiable sister who God is going to use to help shift our mindset today so we can really revisit who we are. Ada is a friend, she's a sister, a colleague, an international HR thought leader. Ada has gone to several continents. Some of us, we are still aspiring to be like her. They're using it as our prayer points, but we'll get there one day. Please let me read out Ada's profile before we invite Ada over. Ada is a seasoned senior HR leader and speaker whose 21-year career story spans across functions and geographies. I don't talk about. She's international. Originally from Nigeria and proudly African, Ada began her career in the commercial role, pivoting to the HR function in 2009. She has held generalist and specialist roles, progressing from an individual contributor to a leader of leaders, residing in Belgium, Ghana, and currently in the lovely city of Portugal. As a growth catalyst, Ada is passionate about helping people reach their full potential and has contributed significantly to talent development, both formally and informally. Ada believes in the place of vulnerability on our path to becoming a well-known for her candor, determination, humanity, creativity, charisma, and humor. Ada believes life is beautiful. Ada will tell us a lot more about that because your identity rests on your beliefs. But for her, she believes life is beautiful. And we owe it to ourselves to live it to the fullest. Just note that as she's going to be speaking to that today. She is certified mind gym coach. Mind gym. I mean, those of us that go to the gym, we know ourselves. When you go to the gym, something happens. You go to the gym to train your muscle. You go to the gym to live a better life. But here we have a coach that is a mind gym. Hey, I'm not sure. I'm really curious to get to know a lot about being a mind gym. That means Ada's got the right competences, she's got the right expertise to address this topic today. Recently, Ada launched her first book, Local to Global. Guys, if you don't have that book, you're missing out. I have that book. I think at her book launch, I bought 20 copies and I've blessed people with that book. And the feedback has been tremendous. So please watch out for that book, Local to Global, My Career mosaic of growth beyond borders, which highlights her 21-year career journey navigating cultures, changes, leadership, and motherhood. On the family side, Ada is married to Ugo, and together they have three lovely daughters. They remind her that as a career mother, you can indeed have it all. We also have that connection. I also have three lovely daughters. So we are mom of three lovely daughters, right? She's Ada by name. Literally, I'm Ada because I'm also a first girl. No, in Igbo, first girl is Ada. So me too, I'm Ada now, but it's just that literally I'm Ada. I'm not named Ada. So without any further ado, it gives me so much honor and pleasure to invite our special guest speaker to our February edition of HR Gems Knowledge Sharing Session. Ada, over to you. Thank you, sis.
Thank you so, so much. That was a very warm welcome. Can you hear me? Just checking. Okay.
Loud and clear.
All right. Let me see if you can see my screen.
Yes, as well. Can see your screen.
All right, perfect. So thank you very much, CLY, for inviting. Can you still see my screen?
Yes, sorry. I'm just trying to move things around. Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, perfect. So thank you for the warm welcome, and thank you, CLY, for this laudable initiative, the knowledge sharing sessions within your HR Gems network. And to everyone who's joined here, thank you for prioritizing your personal development. Thank you for prioritizing you. So without further ado, we'll get cracking. Today is actually the last day of the month of February. I don't know how it has felt for some of you, but maybe you can put in the chat. Has this been a slow year for you, or has it been a fast year? Slow or fast? Let's see, team slow, team fast. Let's see what we have in the chat. Are you for team slow or are you for team fast? Has it been a slow year? Has it been a fast year? Fast? Fast like juju, okay. Fast, the team fast is having it. Fast, fast, okay. All right. Absolutely. I think I'm actually team fast. Walk wise, slow, spiritually, yeah. Fast and furious, Obianuju. I love that. Okay. So keep that coming in. Right. So it's the second month of the first quarter that is wrapping up, and it's so, beautiful to see how, the year has already kicked off. And before you know it, we'll be talking Christmas. Now, for those of you who don't know, Christmas is my best. If there's any word like bestest of bestest, is the best season, best, my most, I love it. So I look forward to Christmas, and those who know me personally know I do a countdown to Christmas. I'm already on that roll. So that's a little bit about me that you would not see on any profile on any LinkedIn site. Like CLY said, I'm a mom of three daughters, and I love to speak, mentor, and engage with people. I actually just coming back from another session here in Lisbon, a capacity building initiative, very similar to this, where I spoke. So today we are speaking about identity shift. If there's anything that everybody has in common here, everyone who is in this session, one thing we have in common. One thing we have in common, let me say, I want to assume that everybody here is looking forward to fulfillment, looking forward to growing. So if that's you, please say thumbs up so that I know that that's you. If you're here because you want to grow, if you're here because you want to have a sense of fulfillment, thumbs up. Am I seeing the thumbs up? Okay, I can't see. Maybe it's because I'm on presentation mode, so I can't see the reactions. I don't know why.
The reactions are coming through though. Let me see.
Okay, then it's a bit delayed. Okay, I see one now. I
Yes, the
think
reactions are coming through.
there's a bit of a delay. All right. when I was out, to do this session, I thought quite hard on what will make a relevant topic. And, some of us here are HR professionals, but I also know that people have been invited who are not part of the HR GEM network, who may not be HR professionals. So I wanted to speak to a topic that cuts across and is very relevant for anybody who is in the audience. So I do hope that over the next few minutes you consider this relevant for you, irrespective of profession, irrespective of your age, irrespective of your years of experience, irrespective of your gender. Identity is at the core. And in professional spaces, we often focus on skills, building skills, acquiring new skills, the new latest certification on ground, competence, and the very common word, visibility. Everybody is talking about visibility. How can you be visible at the workplace? But the reality is that rarely do we focus or examine the identity that is underneath that whole performance. And so I want you to just think about this. We do not rise to the level of our ambition. We only rise to the level of identity. And so no matter how ambitious you are, no matter how great a strategy you may have, if your identity is not in sync, that's a recipe for failure. So today we're going to spend some time on that. Well, we do a lot of let's upgrade our software, let's upgrade our hardware. Today we're upgrading the operating system. I call identity the operating system. So if you're here to upgrade, please, today you're upgrading your operating system, your identity. Okay. So your identity determines what you tolerate. Your identity also determines what you pursue. Your identity also determines the extent to which you accept or otherwise in terms of change and what you believe that you deserve. Now, from my experience interacting with career professionals, in different industry sectors, geographies, some things are consistent. Oftentimes, when people say they are stuck, it's not really that they are stuck as a result of lack of capabilities. What I have found out unpacking this over time is that they are stuck because they are operating on outdated identity scripts. So as you're here, if there's anything that is distracting you, I want to really call out some house rules. This is your moment. Please tell them, no distraction. This is for me. Especially if you're a HR professional, because we pour out a lot into others. So this is your me moment. You're a mom, you're a parent. Tell those kids, this is my me moment, so that you can get a lot for yourself in the next few minutes that we have together. I would want you at the end of today, success at the end of today is that it's not as a fantastic session, but that you are able to take out the reflections from here and go redesign your becoming story. Today, we say it's a lot of VUCA in the world out there. The world is a VUCA world. For those who don't know, VUCA means volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous, right? So VUCA world. So the pace of change is very rapid and its throne is coming at us whether we want it or not. Transitions, many people are changing jobs. You can change as many times as possible within a period. And even if you did not desire that, it's coming to you. There's a pressure to perform externally and internally. Societal comparison, societal pressure also comes in as well. And what happens is that this often pushes us as career professionals that we start clinging to past successes or past versions of success. We cling to titles rather than alignment. CLY was saying that before. So I just want to say here, your title is not you. Who are you? It's not your title. Okay? And then we find ourselves overworking to prove. What are you trying to prove? Those are all the elements that impact our identity. So, success is never neutral. And over time, the level and your definition of success will evolve. What I considered success early in my early phase of career or as a single lady is definitely what not I consider, it's not what I consider as success in today's world. And so your success story evolves and it's filtered through your identity. If your identity says, I must always be visible, what happens? You're only there for the applause. Or if your identity says, I must never fail, what also happens? Success for you is now defined by perfection. So if your identity is evolving, your success story has to also evolve. So today's session is not about what do I do more, okay? It's not about what can I do more. We're not asking how do I achieve more, but I want you to ask yourself, who must I become next? Who must I become next? And that shifts me to, let's start with the premise. We've invested in upgrading skills, acquiring that, even behaviors to an extent, hard skills, technical skills, soft skills. I spoke about that earlier in this session. Your identity must evolve before your performance will. And what identity, the identity that got you here to the level of success you are at, is not the identity that will take you further. So it's less of the past, less of focusing on the past, and more about the future. The other thing as a premise here is that growth can go in both ways. And often when we hear the concept of growth, we think it is only addition. Growth can also mean taking away some things that no longer serve us. And the last premise I want to use to anchor the conversation today is own your narrative. This is a famous saying by Ada. Those who know Ada very dearly will know Ada always says this, own your narrative. If we don't consciously redefine success, we will unconsciously inherit definitions, of success that exhaust us. And those are definitions that sometimes society brings, the workplace brings. And so we're here today to own our narrative. With that said, let's unpack then what does this look like from identity shifts, okay? If you're still there, thumbs up. Let me know that you're still there. Thumbs up, saying I'm flowing. If you're flowing, yes, I'm flowing with this. All right, thank you. I see a few thumbs up coming in. So we'll start with surrender. This is a framework. The identity shift I've put here is a framework, and we're going through some elements. It's in 5 spaces. Surrender, I speak to 4 different dimensions. The golden era. You may be in transition. You may be in the moment where you also are not quite okay with where you are. And oftentimes what we find ourselves doing is that we look back and we so get stuck in the previous versions of self, whether it was successful, most times when it was successful. The truth is that if you look back more than you look forward, you are not growing. The car has the windscreen and has the rear view mirror. Both have a role to play, but you're not going to move forward. You're not going to move that vehicle forward by constantly looking into the rear view mirror. The rear view mirror exists from a growth perspective to pick lessons. What did I learn from that? But it's not for it to hold you back. You need to release yourself, release the attachment to who you were, so that you can be who you need to be in this season. And life is in seasons, okay? So that's very important on the golden era. Who was I before doesn't necessarily define who I am now, no matter what it was. Trying to recreate the applause that was there before doesn't help you to move on. Now, always on, especially for HR professionals, we have a tendency, and I hold my hand up. So when I say something, I've been there, done that. We have a tendency of, being the busyness. And I say busyness is not significant. So always, activity mode all the time. Constant availability actually weakens your leadership. And now that might sound, HR was supposed to be always available. Now, whether you are HR or not, I'm saying to you, you need to prioritize yourself. You need to go from what we call FOMO to JOMO. I'm dropping some things here. I hope you pick it. FOMO. If anything you take away from always on here, I'm encouraging you move away from FOMO, FOMO. It's an acronym, and I'm going to explain that to JOMO. FOMO means what? Does anybody know? FOMO.
Feeling of I don't
Fear of
forget.
missing out.
Yes, who said that?
Mamu.
Mamo, thank you. Okay, the fear of missing out. Yes, that's something that holds us back. We want to be there in everything because we don't want to, I don't want to miss a thing. You know that song. You don't want to miss a beat. You don't want to miss something, and therefore you burn out self because you're always on. And why do we talk about burnout today? If you're known for the one who is always on, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are the best of people. And I'll tell you why. Because people still prioritize those who have considered self-care and know how to preserve themselves. So that's something that we need to think about. Fear of losing out, of missing out, to JOMO, the joy of missing out, which means things can get on without me. I don't always have to be there. So surrender that always on identity. External validation. This is something that personally in my personal journey was a strong one. And maybe you can identify with that, you can relate to that. External validation, the trap there is you always looking or seeking for others to validate yourself. The people-pleasing attitude, other people's opinions matter more than what you think of yourself. And today's world that goes crazy with social media, you have about the likes, the pat on the back. We crave that. Social media life has even extended that, the external validation. The truth is that when you seek validation, you give others the remote control over your own happiness. And then think about that. How does that move me forward? Who do I want to be known for? What do I want to be recognized as? The one who is in charge or the one who is always seeking the external validation? And so I say to you, surrender that and let yourself be your greatest cheerleader. Whatever you want to deliver, whatever goal you want to achieve, it starts with how do I see myself? Not so much about how do others see that. So if you do not believe in your capability to achieve that, and you rather want people to tell you you're able to do that, over time you erode your own self-esteem. So redefine your success, alignment over validations, over approvals, impact over applause. Now, the labels. One of the chapters I write off in my book, CLY talked about my book. So yes, I launched the book, my very first book. It came live October last year. And I'll mention I've been doing some book tours and conversations around, and it's always reassuring to get feedback from readers who say, how did you just know this was it for me? A couple of readers pointed this chapter on the labels. What do we say? What is label? When you go to a shop, you buy an outfit, you buy a shoe, it comes with a tag. That's the label. Now, as humans going through life, we consciously or unconsciously pick up labels. And I say that the labels are the societal tags. They often appear as complimentary, but the reality is that sometimes, they could actually be a detractor to us, to our growth. It's more of expectations that are imposed on us. As with everything in life, anything that is done extensively, applied too much, A strength can actually become a weakness if it's overdone or if it is misapplied. The same with label. Example of a label. He's the expert. She's very big. She's the strong woman. The women in the house, hello. This I'm speaking to us, especially as we have International Women's Day coming up in about a week's time. I'll take a moment to talk about this. This is fundamentally one of the struggles that women have. We've lived labels that are no longer serving us. Labels that seem complimentary, the strong woman label. And what does that do to you? It may sound, yes, good. And this is my experience. When I say things and what I write is from my experience. I lived that for a while until I started understanding how is that impacting my identity. So a strong woman label often limits you from asking for help, just giving you context. And it could be a strong man. So we have men in the house as well. Oh, you're the strong one. Over time, you've lived that label and not realizing how is it detrimental to my own growth. So check in, regularly check in. You have some quiet moments when you check in. Am I living a label? And is that label still serving me in the season I am at? Okay. Now I want you in the chat to say which of these four defined or describes your surrender. Which one are you going to surrender after this? Put it in the chat. Is it the golden era? Is it the always on? Is it external validation or is it labels? Which of these are you going to surrender to help your identity? Put it in the chat. And if it's the four of them, you can as well say it's all of the above. That is welcome. Okay. I'm waiting to see in the chat. Okay, I'm seeing all of the above. Somebody said golden era, yes. External validation. The reason I've said this is don't just type it for me. I want this to sink in. And I hope that you are reflecting and saying, how has this impacted my identity? Okay. And then we move on to the other dimension of identity. When you see the word horizon, or what is on the screen, horizon expansion, what comes to mind? Horizon expansion. Anybody, you can unmute, please feel free. It doesn't necessarily have to be on the chat. What comes to mind when you hear or see horizon expansion?
Enlarging one's coast.
Enlarging one's coast. So I couldn't see. Who was that? Who spoke?
My name is Lady Gwen.
Lady Gwen. Thank you so much, Lady Gwen, for that. And I think, yes, some other
Moving
person wants to
beyond,
say?
yeah, my name is Yemi. So
Yemi?
from my own perspective, is moving beyond the immediate capacity.
I love that. Beyond the immediate. I'll take that. Love that, Yemi. Any other person? Feel free. We're in an intimate space. We're a small group here. It's virtual. It's not public speaking fear. Any other person wants to share?
Mary, let
Moving
me read that.
hello.
Go
Yes.
ahead.
Moving beyond limits.
Ah, wow. So I didn't get the name. Who was that?
Lawal David.
Lawal David. Growing or moving beyond limits. Those are some of the premises that my book is anchored on. Beyond borders. Beyond borders is not just geographical, because borders could also be intangible borders. And those are the limits. Thank you so much. And I'm sure
We have two
there are others
comments.
coming in the chat. I'm not able to
Yes.
look. Two comments. Yes,
Let
CLI, please,
me
if you
read
can
them
help
out.
me.
Yes.
Yes.
So from theory, horizon expansion to me is breaking free from the cage and exploring the unknown. Growing beyond your limits.
I love that.
Two powerful comments. Thank you.
I love that. Stepping out of the unknown, going beyond the limits. I think I can end the conversation here because you guys have said it all. Okay. So, identity, again, we're anchoring our identity. Who are you? And I'm talking about making the shift. For horizon expansion, I'm talking about thinking big versus thinking small. Do people recognize you as the small thinker? Or do people recognize you as the one who thinks big, who's not afraid to dream big, who's not afraid to go for what is big, who's not afraid to step out of their comfort zones, who's not afraid to stretch themselves? Or even in communities like this, HR GEMS Network, it speaks about going from protection. So I am avoiding risk. I don't want to speak so much. I don't want to contribute, to, contributing and leaving an impact. Make your impact felt in the group. Identity, who are you? So to grow, no one grows in the comfort zone. You grow in rooms and environments of stretch. You definitely need to take risks. Beyond the limits requires taking risks. You go from what we call maintenance mode. Let me not lose what I have. It's this small one I have is okay for me. Let me not lose what I have. To let me protect, talking about let me protect my reputation. Just, let me play it safe. That's it. Let's play it safe. Yeah, I just want to play it safe. Nigeria, we say that a lot. I'd like to encourage you to move from that thinking and reframe it to a legacy dimension. What impact do I want to be known for? And it's not only in the corporate space. You can belong to different organizations off the corporate space, like the HR GEMS Network and families and other extracurricular, channels. What do I want to be known for? What problems am I here to solve? Am I a part, when they think of me, when they remember me years after, do they remember me as somebody who contributed to this? Something that is very big to me, whichever place I have, whichever team I have been a part of, irrespective of the geography, I want to leave something that when I'm long gone, people remember, no matter how small. Now, horizon expansion doesn't have to be phenomenal rocket science. In that small thing you do, you're the one who provides the update on what's happening with competition. And you're the one proposing what we can do. You're not even in sales. That's horizon expansion. This could be a HR person or even an IT tech person. You are thinking beyond, you are adopting an ownership mindset. And if there's anything employers want to see that is critical beyond your tech skills, your hard skills, an owner's mindset, an ownership mentality is key. So stop chasing the titles, build expertise. Move from trying to prove to how am I contributing to the bigger picture, to the ecosystem that will serve the wider audience. Horizon expansion. Okay, if you're still together, thumbs up, thumbs up. And we're going to shift very quickly now to the next element of identity. Inquiry. I love this one, the I. So we've done SHI. We're building shifts. SHI. I see there's a hand raised. I don't know if that's, maybe that was someone trying to do a thumbs up. Okay, I sometimes make that mistake.
I think so.
All right, that's the digital space. Okay, inquiry here. Inquiry is saying I move from a fear-based positioning to growth out of curiosity. Curiosity triggered growth. What do I mean? Fear asks things like, what if I fail? What if they don't take me? What if this does not resonate? Curiosity asks, why not? Why not try? Why not just give it a trial? Why not just do this? Why don't you just speak to the person? Why don't you just send that email? Sometimes it's also, what if I'm not ready? What if I'm exposed? What if they say no? How many of us identify with that? That was also some of the things on my personal evolution that I struggled with. Even with writing the book, before I clicked publish, I still got into that mood. What if, what if, what if? And this is why it helps to also have accountability partners and a strong support system, people who believe in you to then revive that self-belief. So fear is asking, what if? Growth is asking, why not? So I tell people, reframe. That's the power of cognitive reframing. Always reframe that. Shift from the perfection pressure. Oftentimes, what makes us do this is because we are so desirous to make things very perfect before we launch forward. And sometimes it's societally imposed, family and everyone, perfection pressure. Move away from perfection pressure. Inquiry is saying move towards experimentation, permission. Permit yourself, give yourself approval to experiment, to try things. Jobs, if I'm on a corporate perspective, even applying, keep trying and learn. Go for interviews and learn. In extracurricular activity, networking, go out there. Some people say, I cannot, I'm an introvert, and they have so taken that introvert thing that it has limited their expansion possibilities. I cannot speak up. That's a limitation you've set on yourself. It doesn't have to be on the stage. Step out and speak. Connect with one person. One session you go for, you connect with one or two people, but the next time you're connecting with 5 people. So inquiry is saying move away from fear, explore more curiosity. Okay? Then we move to the next one. We've done SHI and F. F is frictionless action. Frictionless action. Frictionless action. If you listen to that, if you hear me, I hope what you're hearing is motion. Now, many of us wait. We say we want clarity before we act. We want to see the full picture in place before we take an action. That's a very limiting identity. The reality is that clarity comes with motion, and I have seen that. This is my personal work. Whatever I'm putting here, I have walked the talk. Whether it was on the corporate space or in the personal space. For example, I'm talking about this book. I like to speak about that because that's the most recent that relates. People who've read can also testify to that. So we're often waiting for the perfect strategy. We're waiting for the perfect time. We're waiting for the perfect rule. Well, then we say, yes, we take the perfect confidence when the confidence is all there. But you know what? Clarity is not built. Clarity is found. Say that to yourself. Clarity is not built. Clarity is found. And I actually say that perfection is a byproduct of labels. So remember we talked about the labels, that societal tags. It's a trap. So if you set yourself free from the labels, then it's easier to go on the frictionless action. Nike says just do it. What is that one thing you have been holding back? That email, you probably have drafted it and you have reviewed it 1,000 times and you didn't click send. Let me tell you something very, very recent. And I shared this to encourage somebody. With the writing of this book, I believe in books open conversations. They don't stop there. My interest, my goal, desire is to extend these conversations, not just to individuals, to corporate organizations. So I wanted to start reaching out, exploring out partnership with organizations. I drafted the communication to the organizations, but I delayed and dilly-dallied on sending this. And I will check it, I will refine it, I will sleep over it. Did I get it right? Did I do this? And one day I told myself, I said, Ada, the worst that can happen is they will say, no, for now, and maybe sometime in the future, they want to collaborate with you. So I clicked send to the number of organizations and individuals. I'll tell you what, very recently, even up till yesterday night, I had responses, and it was crickets when I sent it initially, and I felt, oh my God, I shouldn't have sent that. You see, you should have waited until everything, and this, that. But I had results that coming in, trickling in, and I was saying, thank God that you did take that action. And now it's helped me from the inquiry. It's helped me to see what else I need to do. So if I did not take that step, I would probably not have had these opportunities. And they are now even bringing dimensions that I initially did not consider. So frictionless action, take the step. I leave you here with one assignment. Within the next 72 hours, what's that one thing that you need to do to get going and release yourself from a stuck identity? If it's an email, if it's a conversation you need to have with someone, if it's a boundary, yes, we need to establish boundaries as well to protect ourselves from a self-care perspective and also respect, our space. Momentum changes identity even faster than motivation. So that's the homework for you over the next 72 hours. And hopefully you can share your success stories within the next session, the next meeting you have. I'd love to hear those success stories. And with that, we come to transform. We've built the shift. Everything that we've said up till now needs to be embodied in transform. Transform is about honoring who I am becoming. It's about releasing those outdated identity scripts. We've talked about them through SHIF, releasing them away from you and adopting the elements that will preserve the version of self that you desire and that you want people to recognize, own your narrative. So it's about, I am no longer, I am becoming XYZ. Transformation is an inside job, inside out job. Nobody's going to do that for you. And if you really started from where we said in the beginning, that we can only rise to the level of identity, irrespective of the level of our ambition, reconnecting that. If my goal is XYZ, I need to transform my identity to be that. So I want to leave you with one task before I open the floor for questions. It's 5 years from now. So project, everyone, project. It's 5 years from now. Today is February the 28th, 2031. It's 5 years from now. We're flipping the newspapers. I'm reading the newspapers. What is the headline news there about you? Or on the TV, the television, CNN, breaking news from a positive perspective, not those negative breaking news we hear. News headline, what does it say? Whether it's on print media or on screen, what does it say about you? Can you take a moment to write it down? And please feel free to share in the chat. So there's someone said I didn't get that. The homework in the moment now, it's not homework you do after this call. I want to see how we apply all that we have learned. The breaking news headline. Imagine you read the news headline and it says, Ada, I guess that was Ada Onyeri who was asking. I don't know what you do, but it could be something like, Ada's leadership program has successfully empowered 5,000 Nigerian graduates, or mentorship program has empowered 5,000 graduates. So projects, what is that headline of you that you want to see in 5 years from now? Think about, how do I apply all the identity shifts? Ada, did you get that now? I think you were the one who asked, Ada Okore. Okay, perfect. And if you're bold enough to share in the chat, anyone, you've written it down. This is actually for you, and because I want you to keep that as to inspire you towards building on that becoming. You write it, but you're also going to build a roadmap towards that. And in summary, what you have here is the shift framework. So if you forget anything, whenever you hear the word shift now, you would remember this session. It's about surrendering what no longer serves us. It's about expanding our horizon, growing beyond limits, thinking big, thinking legacy. It's about inquiry, moving from fear, replace fear-based thinking with growth-based curiosity. It's about frictionless action, taking the imperfect action to create clarity and transform. Honor the professional, the individual, the lady, the gentleman that you are becoming. So this session was never about achieving more. It was only about becoming more aligned. Because when your identity shifts, success stops being something you chase and becomes something that you embody. Thank you for listening, and I'll hand the floor over back to my dear CLY.
Wow, wow, wow. Guys, please let's give it up for Ada. Put in emojis. Let's celebrate her. That was powerful. Beautiful, Lady Gwen. Amazing. Wow. Please give her all the emojis. I love the way you were talking. It was so quiet and yet so thoughtful, like soulful. You are speaking a very soulful way.
Wow,
Amazing.
wow, wow, wow. Woo!
Wow,
Amazing,
yes. You spoke to
amazing.
our soul. Like, it was so soulful. Amazing. Very educative. Thank you. Thank you. Ada, that was really amazing. Amazing. I mean, you've shared the shift framework, and indeed, I
Short,
can
short,
say
short, short and insightful.
thank you.
Very
Short,
and
brief,
insightful.
insightful, amazing. Oh wow, that was really powerful. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. So, will you the floor open now for questions, for comments, for thoughts, for clarification? It's a fundamental topic, and Ada has been able to break it down in a very relatable, simplified, thoughtful way. That was deep. Thank you so much, Ada. So, questions, please, from anyone. Thought great awakening, Ada. Thank you. Thank you. Questions, thoughts? Is there anything going on in your mind you want her to further help clarify? Or there's an aha moment for you that you want to share with the house? We can think about 3, 4 questions or comments. Who wants to go first?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good
Please
evening.
introduce yourself. Thank you.
Yes,
And then go ahead.
my name is Yemi, and I think I will change my name to Adasu very soon. At least everyone is Adam. All right. Thank you very much for this beautiful section. Like very beautiful one. A lot actually resonates with me personally, and you know, the time you're talking about transformation, I felt like the best part of transformation that came to my mind was the cycle of a butterfly, that it has to move from the egg to the larva to the pupa till it becomes butterfly. So it's a kind of moment that speaks a lot. And I believe it's an awakening moment too. So relating to this personally, I remember when you said we should write something down. Like since 2024, I have the intention of having a group whereby we can. I saw that gap that some set of professionals, there is no attention towards them in terms of training, like webinar sections like this. So I've been delaying that for over 2024 till I just went on vacation last year, December, and I thought like, why don't you start this? The only thing that was coming to my mind is, will people accept this? Will people do this? All of this, you know, I felt anyhow, at least I'll make a trial. Let's see how it looks like. To be told, our first webinar section, we got over 120 people on the call.
Wow, fantastic.
You know, and even we said from 6 to 7 o'clock, I can tell you we round up the webinar section 9 o'clock. So it's something that just like Norma Vincent Peale that said, fear is false evidence appearing real,
Yes.
you know. So I believe transformation is one of those things that defines your personality or your identity, that people can actually know that, well, this person has changed. This person is no longer on this class or level. Well, so my point is, thank you very much. It's a refresher for me and
Awesome.
something that I feel towards something great ahead for
Awesome.
me. Thank you.
Awesome. Wow.
Congratulations, Yemi Ada, right? That's the new
Yes.
name, eh? He said he was changing his name.
Yes. Congratulations. Thanks for sharing that, Yemi. Powerful. Anyone else? Who wants to go next?
I want to say something to also
Thank you. Please,
back
your
it
name
up.
first. Thank
My
you.
name is Lawal David. I also want to say something to back what our coach has taught us today, that part of transformation is when someone is moving from this is how they are doing it to this is how it's supposed to be, or bringing your own new idea to something that has been existing and is bringing good results. As some people perspective is, if I should bring this, that they should change from one perspective that they are using to new one. Are they going to accept it? Are they not going to say I'm doing too much? Are they not going to say I'm doing over sabi? But part of transformation they can talk about someone is when you are bringing new ideas from this is how they are doing it to this is how I think it's supposed to be. Let's try it and see if it works out. If it works out, that means it's going to be an applaud for you that these are the person that brought this new initiative that give us good results. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Awesome. Thanks for that great input. We'll take one more. Thank you. We'll take one more. Okay, we have a question in the chat room from Tinyere. Ada, please let me read it out. What do you do when you feel so lost and sick of sticking to a job that's draining you mentally, emotionally, psychologically, especially when your spouse opposes your opting out? I feel drained right now, lost completely doing what I don't love. And after that, Busola, please, you would ask your question or share your comments after Ada's response. Thank you.
Thank you, Chinyere, and sending you some love in the moment. I can empathize with you in that situation. A few things I would recommend, because I see two dimensions. There's a dimension of self, there's a dimension of an external person, which is your spouse. Okay. So for you, from an individual perspective, from a self perspective, what I recommend in the immediate, if you can, if it's possible, take a break. If a week off, some days off, call it vacation, time out, and use that time out to do some more soul searching in terms of what do I what do I need? What am I aspiring for? What does my future self, what will my future self thank me for if I stayed on this role? What will my future self also say if I moved on? Or not thank me for, what will my future self say if I stayed on this role? What will my future self say if I moved on from this role? So that's one. And try to see what is most critical for you. But I think the bigger picture, I may be wrong, the bigger question here is not really about you. The bigger question here seems to be about your spouse. Is he approving of me making this decision? Now, I think you guys need to go have a conversation, take a retreat out and sit down with Oga, Chinya, I guess you're a lady, female, so I'm saying Oga from a male perspective. Sit down with your spouse and say, what are your fears? I say, name the fear to tame it. He's expressing the fear. And maybe it's coming from, I love you, but it's impacting you. So let's name this fear. What's your fear? And what do you want for me? Because the reality is that as a spouse, I want you to blossom. I want you to this. But there's a fear he's having. Now, I don't know if you've had that conversation. You're not going to go past until you've named that fear. When you name that fear, it ceases to have the power over you. So you then discuss, and sometimes the fear could be lack of income. Let's be very practical. So today's world, you have two streams of income. Oga's fear may be, if you lose that job now, it's only me, And then the next question will be, what is the opportunity cost here? So let's assume I don't, and I stick to this job. These are what the replications. You lose me. I come back nagging. I come back this. I go, what is most important and paramount to you and to our relationship? What does a healthy relationship look like for us? What is most important? Is it our relationship or is this? You need to have that conversation. I think it's also related to the external validation that we talked about earlier and being able to discuss and see when is that hindering me from moving on. But because this is somebody who you have vested interest in. If it was just society, I'll say ignore what they are saying. It's your spouse. So please do a little more digging in, listening, name that fear, and talk a little bit more about what is most important for us in this moment. But what does, what's the name again? Chinyere, what will make me blossom? The wife, what will be the best for me here? And how can you support me in this process? It may mean some sacrifices, which mean a few months I'll be out of job, but this is what it comes with. But it's going to make me more relaxed. I mean, you've been complaining about me nagging and all that. You're all seeing that is because of this place. I'm transferring aggression from the workplace to the home place. So those kind of conversations help them. What's in it for us? If I don't take action, what's in it for us if I take action? I hope that helps.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Oluwabusola, please go ahead and mute.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank
Good
you,
evening.
Madam Ada, for the wonderful session. So I think the last person's question kind of answer part of what I want to say. But my own case is not that I don't enjoy it. Initially, I used to. I love it. And until a certain point where I no longer enjoy it. And this is the reason why. I was like moved up to an extent, and I'm supposed to define what I should do. And in the process of defining, there's a need to also tell me this is what you should do and not this is what you should do. And for me, if I'm doing those things, it's not growth. I'm not growing, right? And also, I have a direct boss, and because I like sometimes to be proactive, and I would go to him to say, okay, let's do A, B, C, D. And as a result, this just makes some proposition and all that. Most times it gets to turn it down. It gets to turn it down that, okay, this is my own, this is what I'm looking at. and tell me what he's doing. And a lot of times he would come back to say, okay, can we do it this way? Still coming back to what I proposed initially. It has happened a couple of times and all that. So in that case, okay, so personally, I made up my mind that I won't go to him to make any proposition anymore, any recommendation. I'll just act in line with what he wants, since I'm still there, right? So and looking at the situation that, okay, I'm still there because there's no other alternative at the moment. Yeah. And also my like what we just learned right now, my shift is that I want to grow beyond what I'm currently doing, because I feel I've been doing it for years and I need to move ahead. So how would you recommend? Because for me, it's looking like you are maybe rebelling or not, because for me, I felt giving him recommendations, since he's going to turn it down anyway, so why would I have to go and give him recommendation at the detriment of the team, because the team is really suffering, in the sense that you want people to work from Monday to Sunday, and for me, it's not done anywhere. It's either you work Monday to Sunday and people go on break for 2 days, or there's just a walk around for the weekend work. So what would you recommend pending while I'm there, so that I won't also so that I won't also burn out myself, because I it's not, I'm like I said, I'm no longer enjoying it.
I don't know if you guys can hear me. I was actually, yeah, off and on. I heard something about work through the Monday through Sunday. And then, so I'm very sorry. I lost a few things. CLY, I really want to respond to this. Could you just help me with the question, the context and the question?
Okay, Paula, can you just recap quickly? I mean, I can do that, but I just wanted to give you the
Okay.
opportunity. Paula. Please, can you do a quick recap? Just summarize your question
Okay,
for
so
Ada.
can you hear me
Ada
now?
lost some of your questions. Ada. Yes, I can
So
hear you.
Can
I
you
said
hear me?
Yes,
yeah, I can hear
Ada,
you.
we
Can
can
you
hear
hear
Okay,
me?
you.
now I can hear you. I think it's going off and on. All right, perfect. I hear you now. Okay.
Okay, so I said a mid leader, right? And you're in a place where you make a recommendation is either turned down, rejected from the get-go, and at the end of the day, sometimes they come back to it like, okay, let's implement, or what do you think you should do? And it's getting to a point where you don't want to make that recommendation anymore. And also you there's a situation whereby you are being asked, or you and your team are being asked to work like Monday to Sunday, because for me that's what it means. And you are clamoring for, if we are working Monday to Sunday, if we are working weekends and we'll be sitting in front of our system, then those people should go on break for like a day or two and all that. So what am I saying? Like how do you think I could? Okay, so I've been put in a place whereby what I've been doing before is what they want me to continue with, which I feel it's a lot more than, it's still like staying in a place, right? And I want to grow beyond that because of some things that are put in place that I need to implement. As a result, I'm asking, how do you think I should like walk around, since I'm still there? How do you think I should walk around, in the sense that I'm not I don't emotionally burn out, because okay, this is what we've been asked to do and we have no choice, because our voice does not matter here. And we have no choice than to do it, or and also not be a rebel to like my direct boss, that okay, since he's not taking this, you are now like you're against me and all sort of, I know. So that's the question.
Okay. I think these are very practical things. I'm going to share a few things from my own experience. You talked earlier, first part was around, recommendations being turned down. You don't feel like you're making, or your voice is being heard. I make recommendations and they are not responded to, they're not taken on. I've worked with, at the point in my career, I worked with 3, 4 MDs, and I can tell you each of them were very different. I remember one of the most trying times I had was working with an MD. My very first few months were very troublesome or turbulent. Sorry, that's the word. If it's very similar, I will make recommendations and it will be turned down. I will make recommendations, it will be turned down, And I kept wondering, was it about self? Long story short, it wasn't about self. It was actually more about the other person, what they were dealing with. So sometimes it helps to have conversations. So I'll say have conversations with these people, not when the moods or the emotions are high. Find where things are more, you have your casual moments where, you're not, there's no tension, and have an informal chat and somewhere past it there in terms of your observation. Okay, I have observed this. Is there something I need to do differently? And that way you're inviting their view so that you know what they desire to see versus what you think is the right thing. Because sometimes we're imposing what we think is right, whereas superiors, bosses have bigger picture view than we do, and they may not be in a space to say everything. Again, I say sometimes. There could be also from very toxic people. So I don't start with the toxicity. I try to explore all options in that sense. I have a rule of 3 I learned from a very senior mentor that said when you try and it doesn't work, don't just give up. You try again, change the approach, change the setting, and you try again after the third time, you've done your best. And be at ease that you have done your best. I think that's the biggest struggle with you. You've tried and you're struggling with accepting, have I done my best? So give it your best and accept. Now you are speaking for me. I don't know if you're a HR person, but I say people working all week. So perhaps there's an element of work well-being, and I'm trying to put that forward to them. Sometimes our opinions, when we share it with, you have leaders who are very egoistic. So what I tell people is try to play to that ego. Make that recommendation seem like it came from them. Don't always come with, this is what I think, this is what I think. Ask them about also, what do you think? And sometimes, just placate that way. It's not everything that we learn in the HR book. Sometimes it's also about the street smartness, the theory and the street smartness in that sense, the organizational street smartness. Find out who is close to this person. There must be someone that this person responds to. Speak to that person. How can I go about this? I'm trying to influence. All I'm saying here is you need to work on your ability to influence. That's what I'm hearing here. How can I influence upwards? Okay, so a few things I'm saying, that what you've said here are more of symptoms. There's a bigger root cause that you need to address. How do I influence my superior, my supervisor, my line manager? Maybe that's another topic for another day. But I think the little ones I've said here have helped. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. We're out of time. We take the last question from Lady Gwen because she's asked it twice. So I guess she really wants us to address this. When someone has experienced a high achievement season and is now pivoting into a new calling in their midlife, what practical and psychological strategies help reignite purpose and momentum?
I love this. When you've been there, you can identify. So, Lady Gwen, that's a very beautiful question. And I want to thank you for asking as well, because there probably are other people who are going through that. I'll start with mourn, but don't dwell in it. It's like saying mourn, but don't grieve. Or is it grief, but don't mourn? Something like that. You've lost that, you've moved away from that high achievement season. It's okay to have some bit of nostalgia, but don't dwell with it. Remember what I said earlier, you have to surrender that. Don't let that, keep you stuck from moving, because it's affecting your ability to move on. It's ability to move on. So mourn, but don't dwell in it. It's like, don't wear the sackcloth. Acknowledge, yes, that I have moved away from that season. I'm now in a season that is calling for change and vulnerabilities. So that's that. Okay. The second one is redefine what your milestones are. The success in that season is done. You need to help your mojo, as I said, define little milestones. Don't wait for long steps. Define very small ones and reward yourself when, I'm talking very psychological, practical things here. Reward yourself when you meet those milestones. Because that's where many of us fail. We set milestones, but we never reward ourselves. We rather are looking for where we don't do right. And then we go back into shooting stuff you didn't do well. So to find your mojo, there's actually a training we have, find your mojo. To find your mojo, redefine what is a success for me in this era. Success in that era is gone. What is success in this era? And then start defining some small milestones. If I do this, I'll celebrate myself. My reward could be I'll take myself out for dinner. It could be I'll go on Netflix. I have stopped Netflix for a while, but I'll go on Netflix.
I don't want to hear Ada speaking. I can't hear her.
I can't hear her also. Maybe her
okay.
network.
Yes, I guess it's her network. Okay. Let's give her a few minutes to come back. But before Ada comes back, I just also want to appreciate everyone for the questions that they have asked and encourage us to please take this not as another session that you've listened to, but take it as working session where you have to go back and then reflect whatever situation you have, walk it through the shift framework. So perhaps if you're feeling stuck currently at your career, look at the shift framework. Ask yourself, what do I need to surrender? What is the label that I'm carrying in this role? Right? What am I expecting to be validated externally? So whatever it is, the shift framework helps you walk your situations through it. So just take your time, ask those questions, pick the learnings, identify the areas that you need to make any shifts or any change, and of course, come up with action plans of what you need to start doing intentionally. What do you need to start doing differently? From tomorrow, from Monday, how do you see yourself? Are there things you need to start paying more attention to? Are there people that you need to, if possible, give a bit more space? So this whole framework is to help us to go review whatever situation we're going through and then begin to take intentional actions that would help us to shift from tomorrow anywhere we find ourselves. So I just wanted to add that as we wait for Ada to come back to wrap
I
up
see
her
why.
Okay, you're here. Okay.
I think my battery died out, so I'm actually using another mobile device.
Yes,
so you see it as Ugo.
Yes, your husband's name. We know.
Yes.
Right, so can you quickly wrap up your response to Lady Gwen? Thank you.
Okay, can you still hear me?
Oh, yes, I can hear you and we can see you.
Okay, perfect. So Lady Gwen, sorry, network cut me off, or my laptop, I don't know which one now. But what I was saying, I don't know where you lost me. I said, you mourn, don't grieve, don't dwell there in that era. Redefine success for you in this. What does success mean? And define it by short milestones. Don't, low-hanging fruits. And then thirdly, when you achieve those milestones, reward yourself, because then that encourages you to then keep going in this new phase that you are. One thing that most people fail to do is that reward. We don't reward ourselves very often. We can reward others, but we don't do that for ourselves. And last point I said was about affirmations. I believe in the power of affirmation. So keep affirming yourself. Don't define yourself only by that previous season. Affirm yourself into your new season.
Thank you so much. Just to also add to what Ada said. So if it's reigniting purpose and momentum, you have to write down what your new vision is. And affirmation helps you to embody that. Momentum too is important. What little actions are you taking in that new path that you're in? And how do you stay grateful? Gratitude. So I also find gratitude as a very powerful psychological strategy that helps. So, what are you grateful for every day, no matter how small it may seem in your new path? Just stay grateful in your new path. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. It's really been wonderful. Thank you. We'd like a volunteer, as we always do, to give the vote of thanks on behalf of everyone today to our special guest speaker who wants to volunteer to give the vote of thanks on our behalf. Anyone, please feel free to go off mute and give the vote of thanks.
All right.
Anyone? Okay, Yemi, please go ahead. Thank
Ada Onyeri. So
you.
after now, so thank you very much, man. This is a very great section. Personally, even from the chat room, you can see a lot of people there, questions, contributions. So I want to say thank you. And we know this is going to have a positive impact and a lifelong impact also. So thank you. God bless you. And we look forward to hear more of you and also to see us on a greater path. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. They're interested in your book. You want to share details? How do they get your book?
Yes, thank you so much. And this is me talking about the book. So the book is available. I'm actually running a promo. I've been running a promo since Valentine, and it officially ends today, the last day of February. So if you haven't gotten a book and you're now curious to know more, unpack about me and the other stories I haven't shared here, you can get a copy through Latana Ventures, but the promo price, you connect directly on the flyer. Coach Lara, I think I can send you the flyer number so they can see that the number, but maybe I can put it 08056596122. If you send a chat to this number, then we can discuss how you get a copy in Nigeria. Because I'm saying that because here we can order online, Amazon and Seller, but I know that's practically a challenge. So if you want the copies, you can drop a chat on the promo price that ends today. Drop a chat to that number. But from next month, it reverts to the original price of
Next month is tomorrow.
currently. Sorry?
The next month is tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah. So the lastminute.com is still on for 8,500. And subsequently, you can also pick it at Latana Ventures, the bookstore is at Adiola, Hopewell Street. I hope that I got that correct. The title of the book is Local to Global, My Career Mosaic of Growth Beyond Borders. And I can see Chiamaka has read it. Thank you for the feedback.
Yeah. Okay. All right. On that note, thank you so much, everyone, and happy new month in advance. Yay. We are marching into a greater month, the month of March. Thank you so much, everyone. Really appreciate you joining to make this event, virtual event, a success. Ada, thank you so much. Love you. God bless you. Thanks for pouring as you poured onto us. The Lord will renew you. I mean, renew all vessel and virtue that has left you. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you, everyone.
Bless you too.
Enjoy your weekend.
Care.
Wish you all a great month ahead.
Coach Lara, please, I would like to connect with you after this call, man. I'll connect.
You'd like to connect with me? Yeah. Okay. So my email address, lara.omolara.yeku@gmail.com. Just send me an email. I'll pick it up. Okay? Yemi Ada. omolara.yeku@gmail.com. Or just drop a chat on LinkedIn. I'll pick it as well. Okay? All right. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate
Take care.
you all.
Enjoy your
God
weekend.
Bless. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.